Doug MacLeod right here at KPFT Houston off of the brand new CD, There's a Time. Came out in March, is that right?
Came out March the 12th.
Very nice. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Thanks, man.
Doug MacLeod is going to be playing tomorrow night over at the Do-Si Do Music Cafe up in Conroe. And it's first time playing there, right?
First time.
Very nice. You're going to love it. It's a nice space.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Doug, I know that when you were 13, you were at a R&B club in Brooklyn.
I was at maybe a theater.
Maybe. All right.
Yeah.
And that was the first kind of music bug you got when you were there?
How do you know that?
I did my research, Doug.
Well, who told you that? That's supposed to be not known.
Your parents didn't know about it, I bet.
No, they didn't.
How'd you get out of the house into an R&B club at 13 without your folks knowing?
Back in New York, they used to have a disc jockey. His name was Murray Decay.
Okay.
And he had these swinging soirees, he called them. And they had these shows at the Brooklyn Fox Theater. And one of the shows was what they called R&B, which had blues in it and doo-wop and all this kind of stuff in it. And ironically enough, Big Joe Turner was playing there. And then 30 years later, I'm backing up Joe.
That's amazing.
I know.
And you're a radio DJ. So did this guy inspire you to kind of maybe go out and do your own thing?
No, I don't know. It was just one of those quirks that happens, you know, that you're going along in life and you go, holy smokes, I saw Joe when I was sneaking into the Brooklyn Fox Theater.
Did you tell Joe that when he hired you?
No, because Joe, I didn't want to let Joe know how old I thought he was.
Very nice.
I like Joe, you know, and Joe was liking me. It's an honor to play with Joe. I wanted to play some more times with Joe. But everything Joe did, Rourke, I'm going to tell you, was in the key of C. Everything.
Right.
No rehearsal. Just Joe would hold.
You got it.
You just hold up the microphone and he'd go, Corina, and the band be going.
You just jump in.
Jump in with Joe.
And how long did you play with him? Did you play with him? It wasn't too long.
On and off.
A couple shows here and there.
Yeah, on and off. It was through Pee Wee Creighton, and that was like Eddie Clean, Ed Vincent, Mama Thornton, George Smith, Lowell Fulson, all the guys on the West Coast. I pretty much played with Joe Houston.
Okay.
Got all of them, backed them up.
Now, when you were 13,
Yeah.
and you were at that R&B club, you stuttered quite a bit back then.
I sure did.
And you worked through that through music.
Yeah,
Tell folks a little bit about that experience.
What happened was I had this really crippling stutter. I couldn't speak.
And that must have been tough with the ladies.
It was horrible. I mean, I couldn't find one. They would see me play bass, and then when I tried to speak, then that was the end of it. You know. So when I got to St. Louis, I picked up a guitar, and I've been playing with blues bands then, and I'd heard blues songs a lot. And I picked up a guitar, and I said, okay, I'm going to try and sing. And when I sang, this voice came out. And I said to myself, we had a guest in the nest for a moment.
Where's the bathroom? Sorry, ladies, down the hall. Sorry. Anyway, as you were saying.
So as I was saying, I picked up a guitar, and this voice came out, and I said to myself, I got a choice. Do I stay with the voice that stutters or the voice that don't? I said, I'm taking the one that don't.
Sure.
So that's where I ended up.
Very nice. That's a good story, and maybe that some other folks can work through it through music as well.
Well, I've heard it does. Someone told me that something happens that sometimes music frees up the part of your brain that stops. Actually, there's a whole bunch of psychologists that have told me some things about it, which I find confusing. But I'm just glad I'm speaking and talking to you.
There you go. Doug, you've been covered by Dave Alvin, Albert Collins.
Well, no, that's not exactly right.
It's not?
No, Dave and I co-wrote a song.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Along with Bruce Bromberg.
All right. All three of you guys.
Yeah.
You see him? He was just here a couple weeks ago.
Was he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen Dave in the longest time.
Okay. Very nice. Albert Collins. He did
Albert Collins covered the song.
Papa John Creech.
Yes, he did.
And Joe Louis Walker.
Joe Louis and I have co-wrote together.
Okay.
Yeah, they put things on the websites, that are, not.
Don't believe everything you read.
Please.
Right. Now, You have been covered by quite a few folks.
Yes, I have.
Now, do you remember the first time that maybe one of your idols covered one of your songs?
I sure
Can
do.
you knew about who was it? And what was the
Albert
song?
King.
Right.
Albert King, and he did.
Did he ask you, or did you just find out? That
No,
he
they
covered
just
one of
found.
your
In fact, this guy named Phil Jones. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but he was working for Fantasy, and I had sent up my album before it was going to go to High Tone. The High Tone people said, "Look, if you can get it on Fantasy, that'd be fine," because they were just brand new. And I said, "Okay," so I sent it up. I get a call from this fellow named Phil Jones, and he kind of talked like this here. He says, "Doug MacLeod." I said, "Yeah." He says, "Phil Jones." I said, "Phil, how are you?" He says, "Yeah, I'm calling about that record." I said, "Oh yeah, you like it?" He says, "No, I don't like the record." He says, "But I like that song your bread ain't done. I think Albert King can do it. Is that all right with you?" I said, "Yeah." I mean, my heart was broken.
Yeah, right.
And
Your record
glad at the
sucks.
same
I like
time.
the song. Wow.
So that's how that happened.
Now, what record was that we were talking about?
It's Phone Booth, Albert King's. It was his Fantasy release, and I remember we got the first check I got for that song. It was 0.02.
All right.
That's 2 cents. And my wife said, "Should we frame this?" I said, "Absolutely not. We're going to cash this because it'll cost them more to process it." Yeah. So.
Well, now, what record was that of yours that they found those? The guy that liked that
No
one?
Road Back Home. That was
Okay.
the first one that came out on High Tone, '84.
Okay, that was your first record.
That was my first record.
Very
yeah.
first. Now, tell us about Come to Find.
Come to Find was the first acoustic album, and that was, I would with the band, and we were doing very, very well. And I remember telling my wife that I didn't feel connected to the audiences. And she said, "How? Why?" I said, "Well, it's the band's so big, and it's, there's a lot of people involved in a band, not just the folks in the band, but the people outside that, and so on. And I felt that wasn't connected enough to the audience, so I wanted to change, and I said, I think I want to go to playing solo. I mean, smaller rooms and stuff, but
Less folks to pay.
less folks
A
to
little
pay,
bit more
but
money in your pocket.
well, yeah, but the truth of the matter is, Rourke, that there's a chance that I really think that this is about songs, and it's like what blues did for me was to help me overcome something.
Right.
And I really think that's what's important about it. And the older I get, the more I feel that way. When I had the band, I sure didn't feel that way. I'll be honest with you. No, I like the adulation and all that kind of stuff. But now I think the music is the most important thing, and I want to touch folks and make them feel something.
So you went out and did the Come to Find record, which was a solo acoustic, and then I guess you took that on the road. And
Yeah, that was Audio Quest. Joe Harley, and I hadn't seen Joe for 13 years, and I saw him just 2 months ago. And we hooked up at an audiophile show, and man, it's great to see him. He's such a great producer and a great guy,
And Come to Find has been out of print for a long time, but it's recently been put out on vinyl.
It has always been in print. However, they just remastered the vinyl.
Okay.
And it's like, audiophile people, they're very serious about this stuff.
Sure.
And I heard it when I was in Salina, Kansas, with Chad Kasem, the guy that really presses so much of the vinyl nowadays. He's out of Salina. And he said, "You got to hear this." And I sat down in this beautiful room with this beautiful equipment, and it sounds like you're there. It's for the person that buys that LP, you're going to sit there and go, "Man, I'm in the studio," because it's that good. It's amazing. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
Okay. And that's available at your website?
That's available everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that's available. Come to Find, Amazon, everywhere. You can find it. You can come to find just about anywhere.
You have copies with you that you'll have tomorrow night?
No, because it's too heavy to carry.
All right. Well, I'm just asking, just making sure. You said everywhere. I want people to show up and go, "Hey, now wait a minute."
Everywhere but my trunk.
Right. Doug MacLeod live in the KPFT studio playing tomorrow night at the WCW Music Cafe. And then on to Linden, Texas for the T-Bone Walker Blues Festival.
Yeah.
9 o'clock Friday night and 9:45 on Saturday night.
Yeah.
They got you some good spots.
Yeah. This is a treat. Because, the funny thing is, I was in Southern California for all those years, and who I never played with was T-Bone. I never got to him.
So this is making up for it by going to the
so
festival.
I feel really good about this.
Very nice. You're going to sing one for us live, Doug?
Yeah.